Hello, how are you doing? I am not doing great, but it's fine. It's fine. Today my day has literally been that audio. Well, honestly, yesterday too. And they ask how you feel and you're just supposed to say that you're doing fine even though you're not really fine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really fine. So you know what I thought would make my day a lot better? Doing a 24-hour readathon. I will say it's not gonna be like a non-stop one. I'm not gonna stay up and not sleep just to film this readathon and do the reading vlog. I'm just basically going to be seeing how much I can read in 24 hours. So now that we have that covered, I'm also going to be reading Christmas books, Christmas holiday romances to be more exact. I have a couple on my mind that I'm really excited about. Actually, the one that we're going to be starting with, hopefully, is This Is Not a Holiday Romance by Camilla Islay. Slay Queen. I'm not doing great. I'm thinking that that's the one that I'm gonna start with. It seems relatively short. I'm looking at the audiobook and it's only 6 hours, which is not bad. I am primarily going to be listening to audiobooks because I have a lot of things to do, first of all. And secondly, I got these. They're like coloring books. I have 5. One thing about me, if I get into a new hobby, I'm gonna go full on, like purchase everything that I can possibly buy and then hope for the best, because if I end up getting bored by that hobby, then yeah, they're just gonna be collecting dust somewhere in my room. I'm hoping that that's not gonna happen with this one, but I have been seeing everyone, when I say everyone, I literally mean everyone, doing coloring books. So I found these cutie little coloring books. I did order them a while ago. That's why I'm pretty sure that I have 2 Halloween ones. Yeah, I have 2 Halloween ones. Obviously, we're not gonna be doing those. But then I have these 2, which have some Christmassy scenes. They have like another one that is coming out. I mean, it might have already come out actually. There is like a Christmassy one. I wanted to order it so bad, but I would have to pre-order it, and then I was like, so yeah, I bought these. I got them from Amazon, if you were wondering. They have so many. When I say so many, I literally had 50 in my cart. But I showed some restraint and I was like, let me get a couple and then we're gonna get the other 45. So those are my coloring books. And then also I bought some alcohol-based markers. That's what they're called, right? I think. I got the cheapest that I could find and I got a 60-pack. I wanted to get the Ohuhu. I'm not sure how do you pronounce that. I don't even remember exactly the name of them. But I want to get those. They're expensive. They're so expensive. And then I was looking through Instagram and a lot of them use a brand called Caliart, but it's not available in Europe, or at least in my country, which was not fun. It was not nice. So I basically just bought these. They had decent reviews, so that's also good. I tried them a bit. They're fine. They're not great, but at the same time, I don't really have anything else to compare them to. They might be trash. It's just a hobby. It doesn't need to be perfect. And the other Ohuhu, Wahoo, whatever you want to call them, markers were so expensive. If I stick with it, then we're going to invest on some of those markers. Slowly being the key word, because they're expensive, but you know, they are like doable, I guess. For now, we're gonna stick with these. And yeah, that's it. I don't know why I talk so much about coloring, but I'm gonna be doing mostly audiobooks because I also listen to audiobooks a lot faster than what I actually read. So I'm thinking that way we can actually get through some more books. And I really want to read some holiday books this year. So let's set a timer. I'm gonna start reading or listening. Maybe a bit of both.
Oh, don't you know how I adore you? You spin me around, and I can't help but think about you. Oh, don't you know the things I do for you? The ends of the earth, the sea to the sky, I'd walk to see.
I just finished the book. I have 21 hours left and 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So 21 hours basically. Wait, so I finished the book in 3 hours? Halfway through the book, I started listening to it at like 2.5 times speed. And also my headphones arrived. I didn't have like big ones. I had only the smaller ones. And I still like those and I'm obviously going to use them. But I wanted to get one of the bigger ones because I feel like they're more comfortable. They're not like inside your ear. I don't don't know, I thought that they would be more comfortable, and yeah, they definitely are. I got the Sony, what's the name, Ultwear, I think it's called. I got them in this kind of like white, off-white color, and I think that they're really good so far. I mean, obviously I haven't been using them for like 2 hours maybe, but yeah, so far so good, and I'm actually really happy to finally have some headphones. I think that they're gonna be really good for editing too. But yeah, back to the book. I liked it. I think that it was fun. It was a fun rom-com. I think I'm gonna give it around 3 stars. But yeah, it was good. It wasn't amazing. I feel like it could have been better. I think that it started really well, but then just kind of went downhill, and then it was fine, and then it was like downhill again. Not my favorite, but I would definitely say that if it sounds interesting, pick it up, especially if you can have the audiobook. I think that that's gonna be even better. We have our 2 characters. We have Nina and Tristan is Nina's brother's best friend, and they don't really like each other. They end up having to spend Christmas together. They start to get attracted to each other. It was just an easy, silly, goofy time, I guess. I don't know. I didn't love it, but it was fun. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I'm probably gonna go to sleep right now because it's way past midnight. Also, while I was listening to the audiobook, I changed my background, my phone background. I don't know if you can see. Found it on Pinterest, and I think that it's so adorable. I love like all of the little Christmassy decorations, and I love the colors too. I think that it's really cute. Fully relevant. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. So far so good. I mean, first read was not bad. It was pretty good. So yeah, that's my update. I have 21 hours left, which means if every book takes me only 3 hours, we're gonna be listening to a lot of books, but I don't think that that's gonna be the case. So yeah, we'll see what I will read next.
On driftwood, adrift in Puget Sound, a seagull and a seal, an unlikely pair have found. A moment of peace as day fades into night. The setting sun paints the waves with golden light. The seagull graceful in the salt.
I'm so cold, but I finished the second book of this video, which is The Merriest Misters by Timothy Janowski. I don't know how I feel about it. It was definitely Christmassy, so if you're looking for that, go ahead. It had some, I want to say, magical realism, so that's also something that I feel like a lot of people like. Personally, I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't hate it, but I feel like I didn't love it in this book. I don't think that this book was necessarily for me. I am willing to try more books from this author. I know that this author also has like a You're a Mean One something. I don't remember exactly the title. That also has really good reviews. So I'm thinking maybe I will try that one and see how I feel. But yeah, this one was good. It's just, I feel like we didn't resolve some of the issues, and at the same time, I didn't really believe the romance. And if you're reading a romance book and you don't really believe the romance, I mean, okay, I believe the romance at some points, but it's just, I didn't fall in love with their love. I'm leaning towards 3 stars. I'm not 100% sure. We have Patrick and Queen. They're already married, already living together. They're having some issues with their marriage, and somehow they end up needing to fix Christmas. I want to be really vague because I don't really want to give the whole plot of the book. So that's all that I'm gonna say. But that means that I have 16 hours and 47 minutes left. So now I need to figure out what I'm gonna read next. I don't know. I have some options obviously, but I don't really know exactly what I'm in the mood for. I will say I really want a very holiday heavy romantic romance book, because this one, it was a romance, but I feel like it wasn't fully heavy on the romance side, I guess. I definitely want a book that is very heavy on the romance. Maybe I need to go and look at the reviews and find like a really good one. That's also something that I could do. I have on Goodreads a list where it's Christmas hopefuls, and I have all the books that I hope that I will read eventually that are Christmassy books. So let me see the average rating. I might go into Time to Sign by Rachel Reed. I read another book by Rachel Reed and I didn't love it, but it was the first book that she ever wrote. So I'm hoping that this is going to be better. Yeah, I'm thinking that I'm gonna like this because it seems like it's Golden Retriever and Black Hat, like Grumpy Egg Sunshine, which is something that I love in male romances. So I'm hoping... Not me saying I'm hoping that I'm gonna like it and going into the reviews, and the first 3 reviews that I see are 2 stars. If I find something else that is interesting to me, I'll go for that. If I don't, I'm gonna read this one. Okay, hear me out. I'm not having fun. Finished Time to Shine. It was not for me. I was thinking about it for a bit. Is it the writing? Is it, I don't know, something else about the book? Is it the characters? I look so pale. I look like I'm a vampire. It's so gloomy outside, even though it's literally the middle of the day. Just so fun, so fun. So I don't know if it's the writing or what it is, but it was not for me. I didn't love the characters. I was trying to sit for a minute and maybe like understand my actual thoughts about it, if that makes any sense. Both of the characters had some red flags for me. Landon sometimes was so mean to Casey. It's not that it was in the beginning and then they fell in love and all of that stuff and he stopped being mean. No, I feel like there were scenes towards the end of the book that Landon was mean. And then at the same time, the spies, I don't mind spies in books. I have said that a lot of times. I actually kind of like spice in books, but I need it to have a purpose. If it's just there just for the sake of being there, I don't like it. I get why it was there, but at the same time I feel like it could have been done in a better way, because I think that we focused so much on that didn't feel like it necessarily belonged, or I don't know exactly how to explain honestly, but it was just, we focused so much on that and I wish that we had not. It was definitely better than the other Ready to Read book that I read, which was Game Changer. It was definitely better than that, but I still don't think that it was that good. I don't know if I'm gonna read more books from this author, because so far 2 out of 2 have not been great. I think I'm gonna give it around 2.75. This is advertised as a Christmassy book, I'm pretty sure. It's not that Christmassy. I think we have 2 chapters that it's Christmas. Before that we have some mentions of Christmas decorations and stuff, but it's not Christmassy. If you advertise a book as Christmassy, I want it to be the whole thing. I want it to be set in December, or definitely have more than 2 chapters that are set in Christmas. Overall, it was not for me. I would say if you have read from this author and you have liked it, maybe give it a chance, maybe give it a try. You might enjoy this book, but not for me. Landon has those red flags, being mean for no reason. Nobody talks about it. Even Casey doesn't care that Landon hurt his feelings. They just keep on moving like nothing happened. Landon says a half-assed apology and then that's it. And then Casey also, something was not great for me with that character. I don't know, it's just, I don't want to say that he was too much, but he was kind of too much in a way that it just, I don't know, something felt way too cheery about him. I don't know, maybe that's just my problem. I would say that was definitely like my biggest issue. I didn't fall in love with the characters. So yeah, we have read 3 books. We have 12 hours and 16 minutes. Oh, on the dot. That's pretty good. We are almost halfway through. That's exciting. I found this book, which is also a new release, and it's called The Christmas You Found Me by Sarah Morgan Haller. It's a single dad romance, and I'm thinking that I love single dad romances, so maybe that will do something for me. I'm pretty sure the average rating was like the average rating is 4.24, which is pretty good, and it came out in September, and it has almost 2,000 reviews. So I'm hoping that this is gonna be good and that I'm going to enjoy it. I'm also gonna be physically reading it, I think. I'm kind of tired. I love my headphones, but I'm tired of listening to things, and I am getting very dark, so I'm gonna leave that here because my light just died, so that's fine. I'm gonna start this book and I'm gonna let you know how I feel about it.
I heard the streets been talking. You heard that someone's walking, but you're here, I've got your hand in mine. And I know this isn't easy, but I see the way you see me. I know we both can see the signs, yeah. Cause I won't ever let you go now. Hold you when the night gets colder, cause I don't wanna let you.
I just realized. She basically says, all I want for Christmas is my caffeine. Something clicked on my brain and I was like, did I have coffee today? And then I was like, oh, I remember grabbing my cup and thinking, oh, I'm gonna make coffee. And then I'm like, did I actually make coffee, or is my cup just in the kitchen counter waiting for me? And then I realized that I actually did make coffee, and I was like, oh, it's really hot. Let me let it for 2 seconds to cool down, and then I'm gonna drink it. And I came here in my room and my coffee is still in the kitchen counter.
I'd rather be, I would rather be. Yeah, I know that we can face it. What we got, no one can break it. Give all I got to make you see that I won't ever let you go now. Hold you when the night gets cold.
I finished the book. I love it, but at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't want to cry. Because when I say that I cried, I don't mean like, oh, I shed some tears. No, I bawled my eyes out like a little baby. If you don't want to cry, don't read that. If you don't want your heart broken and then semi put back together, but not fully, don't read that book. But if you don't mind that, please read it. I love this book. I think that it was done so well. It was done beautifully. You still have the Christmassy spirit, but at the same time, it's not cheesy. It's not unrealistic, I guess. It's actually the opposite. It's so realistic that it's kind of crazy. I definitely want to read more from this author because the writing was phenomenal. This author also has another series. This is not part of a series, but she has another series which has 3 books in it. It's also winter, so I might read it in January, I'm thinking, because I really want to focus on holiday books. But yeah, I definitely am gonna be reading that. This book is about Guy, Sienna, and Emma. Guy is a single parent and he has a kid named Emma, and this was very much so a book where the child didn't feel like a side character. In a lot of books we have the single parent trope and then the kid doesn't really feel like a big part of the story, which I get that some people prefer because they don't like kids in books. If you don't like kids in books, you're not gonna like this. I will say it's done in a realistic way. Like the child is not talking like she's, I don't know, 50 years old with wisdom and everything like that. So in that sense it is very realistic. So I guess it depends on what annoys you when you're reading like a single parent with the child in the book. But yeah, we have Guy and he has a little kid named Emma. She has kidney failure, I think. Something with her kidneys basically. So he's really struggling mentally, obviously, financially, everything. He's trying to work as much as he can in order to provide for his daughter, but at the same time he needs to be focusing on his daughter, so he cannot just go work and not pay attention to her, obviously, because he is on a very tight schedule, diet-wise, everything. And one day he sees this ad on the newspaper and it's basically like a husband needed. That ad is about Sienna. We have Sienna and she recently got divorced and her best friend, kind of like a joke, not a prank, just as a joke, something funny, puts on a newspaper an ad and it's basically husband needed. Obviously they don't really think anything about it, but Guy ends up showing up and being like, I want to do this, I want to be the husband, the boyfriend, whatever. So as they start to talk, Sienna realizes that Guy has a 4-year-old daughter who has kidney failure and that he's very mentally drained, financially drained, everything drained. So after a while she proposes that they get married because her health insurance is a lot better than his. Yeah, they end up getting married from the first page. This book had me interested. I kept wanting to read and see what happens. I think that it was genuinely one of the best holiday romances that I have ever read. And another thing is that yes, it is a Christmassy book, a holiday book, but it's not the main focus, I guess. I don't know, just it feels like an actual story that just happens to take place while in Christmas time, and I really like that. It's what I prefer. I like when things happen normally, like they're not like, oh, Santa has an issue, let me help him, it's anything like that, but it's just real stories that could take place basically any other time in the year, but it's just they happen to take place in December, in Christmas time. And that's what I like about holiday romances. It's just I want to see the characters living the Christmassy spirit and like setting up the tree, decorating for Christmas, going to like a carnival, like a Christmas carnival of some sorts. That's what I like to see in a book. I don't like to see, I don't know, Santa and elves and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I have quite a few hours left. Yeah, I have 7 hours and 57 minutes. So almost 8 hours, basically. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I'm kind of worried about it because this was so good. Did I even tell you the rating? I think I'm gonna give it 4.25 in case I didn't tell you. So obviously, because this book is so good, I don't want to go into a bad book again. Because before this, it was not looking good. It was not looking good. The first book that we read was actually thinking of giving it 3.5 because I actually really enjoyed it. Then we have a 3 stars, then we have a 2.75, and now we have a 4.25. So I really just don't want to jinx it and go into a bad book. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna go on Goodreads. I have basically every single holiday book that I want to read on a list named Christmas Hopefuls. Let me put it average rating. Should I screen record this? I'm gonna screen record this. Why not? Yeah, so now you can see what I see. Okay, the first one is obviously the second in a series. I have not read this series at all. Then the second one is a new release, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it says that it came out 2024. Oh, it came out December 1st. It's 168 pages, which is really short. It's a novella. Okay, this is obviously a contender. This, I'm pretty sure that it's... No, 400 pages. Cannot do that. Then we have new adult. I don't want to do new adult. I really want to do an adult one. Yeah, I feel like I have better chances of me liking it. A Forbidden Best Friend's Dad holiday novella. Forbidden. I feel like that's gonna be really spicy, and I'm not in the mood for something spicy. The Fake Snowfalls, that also sounds really well. Okay, so I'm between this and A Gift Rarely Given. Okay, so they're both fake dating, but in this one, she's like a curvy female character. I love to read about that, so I actually think I'm gonna do this one, and it's a novella too. So maybe I will do this one, and then I'm thinking that I'm gonna have enough time to do the other one too, to be honest. I think that we found my next read, which is going to be The Gift Rarely Given by Ambar Kurova. I'm hoping that I pronounced that correctly.
I see you looking over here at me like you got tunnel vision. And now my head's all up in outer space. You got me on a mission. Time slows down when I think of it blacking out under your eclipse. Need you now, 'cause I can't resist you. Oh, I just want you in my orbit like a comet.
Okay, great. I was filming and I never pressed record. Love that for me. Finished the book. I did not like it. It's insta-love, which is 100% not for me. It's my least favorite trope. You're telling me that you know the other person for 5 days, 7 days, and you're in love with him? I don't get it. Not for me. If you like it, I guess it was you. No, it was not. I didn't like it. Even before they fell in love, I did not like this book. It felt very plain, very boring, very stereotypical. For me, a huge thing is I want to be able to feel like the characters are real people. That was not the case with this one at all. That's sad, but at least we're done with that. I think I'm gonna give it around 2 stars. If they were not strangers, maybe it would have been better, because strangers to lovers, they don't know each other and they bump into each other randomly, and then they have a one night stand, right? And the next day, literally the next day, they bump into each other again. And I guess the beginning was fine, even though she basically sleeps in a bench, accidentally sleeps in a bench, and throughout the whole book we are told several times that she sleeps so easily, and they go on a movie date and she literally falls asleep. I am sorry, but if I went on a date with somebody and they fell asleep, I would not be happy. Like I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I'm picky. At the same time, if I saw a person sleeping on a bench, I would be like, what the fuck? And she constantly saying that, oh, her friends are telling her that she can sleep anywhere and she falls asleep so easily. And I get that we're supposed to see it as kind of she feels safe with him, so that's why she's falling asleep. But we could have seen it in other ways. Yeah, we could have seen it in other ways. The whole thing was very plain and stereotypical. I feel like that's the only way to explain it. It's this trope, so we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. It didn't feel natural. A lot of the book, the characters, the romance, just nothing felt natural. It just felt like it's this, you know? We need to do things in this order in order to make sense, and that's it. But it didn't really flow. So yeah, not for me. I have, how many hours? I have 5 hours and 49 minutes. So almost 6 hours. At least it didn't take me that long. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I actually have one thing in my mind, and that is a Haley Cass book. I read another book, The Snowball Effect by Haley Cass, and I really liked it. Haley Cass also has a romance called When You Least Expect It, which is a holiday romance. So this author writes sapphic romances only, and I actually really would love that. And it's also a short one. It's 100, no, oh, okay, it's 250 pages. I don't know why I thought that it was 150. I loved the writing. It was so easy to read, so easy to binge. So I'm thinking that this will also be really easy to read and really easy to binge. It's a sapphic romance, and we have Caroline and Hannah. Hannah is married to a guy. She also has a daughter. And then Caroline is a divorce attorney, I think. Yeah. And she ends up taking up the case of Hannah and her husband. Like, they're divorced because they're getting a divorce. Caroline ends up having a crush on Hannah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna finish it in less than 6 hours. This is going to be the next book. I have 6 hours to finish it, and it's 250 pages. We are done with the 24 hours. I read 6 books. I want to say 5.5 because one of them was a novella. I think that it was still like 150 pages. So yeah, I'm actually really excited with how we did in this video. It's the first time that I have read so many books. It definitely helped that I was listening to half of them, basically. The first book that I read is This Is Not a Holiday Romance by Camilla Isley. This was an audiobook. I did enjoy the audiobook. I did really liked it. Originally, I think I gave it 3 stars, but I think I'm going to officially make it a 3.5 because I actually really enjoyed it, and especially reading the other books in this video, I realized that that was pretty decent. There are things that I would have preferred if they were done differently, I guess, but I still really enjoyed it and I would recommend it as a holiday novella. I will say it is a bit fast burn, kind of. Like it's not a slow burn. I wouldn't say that it's a slow burn. The whole transition of them not liking each other to them liking each other, at least him liking her, wasn't my fave, but it was still enjoyable and I still would recommend it as a Christmas romance if you want something easy to read. Then I read The Merriest Mistress by Timothy Janowski. This was not for me. I give it 3 stars still because I don't think that the writing was bad necessarily. It's just this whole story was not for me. I'm not a kind of gal that likes... I like a different type of holiday romance, holiday story than this book gave me. And I guess that's kind of like personal preference. So I would say give it a chance because the writing was not bad. It's just it's not a story that I liked and enjoyed. The next book that I read is Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. I had high expectations for this. Well, I had okay expectations for this. I didn't have the highest of expectations, but I didn't have the lowest either. I think that it was decent. It was not for me. I think that I'm starting to think that Rachel Reed is not for me. This is the second book that I'm reading from her, and it's something is not fitting right with her stories. I was expecting to really like it, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I gave it 2.75. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I don't know. Maybe you have read other books by Rachel Reed and you enjoyed them. Maybe pick this one up, but it's just it was not for me, and I'm actually really disappointed about it because I was hoping that I was going to like it. I love a queer romance, so I really hoped that I was going to like it, but it didn't happen. Then I read The Christmas You Found Me by Sarah Morgenthaler. I actually really enjoyed it and I was shocked, kind of. I gave it 4.25. This is definitely more so a heartbreaking story, but it's the holiday romance that I want. And I think I already said this, but I personally prefer romances, like for holiday romances, I prefer romances that could take place any time of the year. It just so happens that they take place in Christmas, so you have decorations and all of that stuff. And this is exactly that. I loved the writing. It was so easy to read. I loved the relationship. It felt so natural, and I would highly recommend it. I'm definitely reading more books from this author. And then I read The Gift Rarely Given by Ambar Cordova. 2 stars. Did not like it. Did not enjoy it. It was not for me. I'm actually glad that it was only, I think, 150 pages. Has 170 pages, something like that, because I was bored. This felt so cookie cutter, but not in a good way. It felt so stereotypical. The whole plot was lacking for me. It has really good reviews, so maybe I'm the problem, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I was expecting too much. But I have read novellas in the past that are short, obviously, but they still make sense and they still have a plot that makes sense and feels natural. With this, it felt like, oh, alright, we are like halfway through the book, so they should like each other by now, so let's do that. And then it felt very flat, very boring. It was not for me. 2 stars. I was very disappointed because I really wanted to like it. And then the last book that I read is When You Least Expect It by Haley Cass. I'm actually really happy that I picked this one up. I picked it up because I knew that I like Haley Cass writing. I mean, I have read only 1 book from her, but I still really enjoyed it. My camera is flashing. Okay, let me wrap it up really quickly. I really love this book. I think I'm gonna give it 4.25, maybe 4.5, I don't know. I really love her writing. She writes amazing characters. They feel genuinely real. I want to read every other book that she writes ever. I would highly recommend it. The Christmas is not the main focus of this book, which I don't know, maybe some people will like, maybe some people won't like. Personally, I didn't have an issue with it, but I mean, you definitely see Christmas. It's just not set fully on Christmas, which is something that I actually liked because it felt more natural, and also it didn't feel as insta-lovey as other people that are set just on Christmas. So yeah, I really loved it. I cannot wait to read more books from Haley Cass, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, I feel like we found 2 really good ones, a 3rd one that was good, and 2 that I didn't like, but overall pretty good. I had a lot of fun. I'm definitely in the holiday spirit now. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope that you liked this video, and I hope that I will see you in my next one. Bye.
You give me butterflies when you smile.